Hey there, friends. In today's tutorial, I'm going to be making up this sample of the Pink Warriors crochet throw. This is a very beginner-friendly blanket because it uses the wattle stitch, and the wattle stitch is made up of a single crochet, a chain, and a double crochet, so very basic stitches. Now, when I was first working on this blanket, I was just wanting a pink blanket. I was craving color because the previous two blankets I had made were very neutral. But the longer I stitched, the more this color reminded me of all the Pink Warriors I know, those ladies who have battled breast cancer. And immediately, 13 people in my circle of friends and family were brought to mind who have battled this terrible disease. And then two or three other people were brought to mind that are friends of friends. I don't personally know them, but I know about them. So I thought, the name would be just a small way to honor them and all they've battled and gone through fighting that terrible disease. Now, if you would like the full written pattern for this blanket, it's available in 3 different places: my Etsy shop, my Ravelry shop, and my website. And I will leave links for all 3 of those in the description. So without further ado, let's get started. For this project, I'm using 3 different shades of pink in a 4-weight or medium weight yarn. If you aren't familiar with that classification system for yarn weight, this would just be like a worsted weight or maybe even Aran weight, because I feel like this particular yarn is on the thicker side of a 4-weight or medium weight compared to other yarns that I've used that are within that same weight category. So worsted weight or maybe even Aran weight. I'm also using a size H or 5.0 millimeter crochet hook. So grab yourself one of those and let's get started. To begin, chain any multiple of 3 until the chain is as wide as you want your project to be. For this little sample, I just chained 18. And then we're going to start working in the 3rd chain from the hook. This doesn't count as anything. The loop on the hook doesn't count as anything. There's the 1st chain, 2nd chain, 3rd chain. And I prefer to flip this chain over and work in the back bump because I like the edge that creates, but that's personal preference. You don't have to work your stitches in the back bump if you don't want to. So beginning in that 3rd chain from the hook, we're going to work 1 single crochet, chain 1, and 1 double crochet. If I can get that worked in there. There we go. Skip 2 chains, and then in the following chain, we're going to do the same thing. 1 single crochet, chain 1, 1 double crochet. Skip 2 chains. In the following chain, 1 single crochet, chain 1, 1 double crochet. Skip the next 2 chains, and then work another single crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Oh my goodness, I'm having trouble with those double crochets today, aren't I? All right, skip 2, single crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Skip 2, and now we're on our last chain, and we're just going to finish out with 1 single crochet. So there's row 1. Begin row 2 by chaining up 2. Turn your work. And then we're going to skip the first 2 stitches. So you're going to skip that single crochet and that double crochet. And in the chain space, you're going to work a single crochet, chain 1, double crochet, just like you did on row 1. So single crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Skip the next 2 stitches, 1, 2, and in this next one, which is a chain space, same story, single crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Skip the next 2 stitches, then in that chain space, single crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Skip the next 2 stitches, single crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Skip the next 2 stitches, single crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Then you'll have one single crochet left and your turning chain. In that turning chain, we're going to work one single crochet to finish out the row. And there you go for row 2. However, I changed colors after every 2 rows. So each color is 2 rows. So I need to bring in my next color, and I used the medium shade of pink for that. So let me actually take out that final step of the stitch, because that's how you change color. If you're not familiar with how to change colors, let me just rework this for you. So I'm working one single crochet in the turning chain. So I start it just like normal, where I insert my hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, but rather than yarn over and pull through for the final step of that stitch, the final step is where you bring your new color in. So just lay that color, the new color, over the hook with the tail out away from you and the working yarn coming toward you, and then just pull that through for the final step of that stitch. And that's all there is to it, to changing colors on yarn or adding a new skein if maybe you've run out of your original color. Okay, so, whoops, wrong color there. Now, I did not cut my tails on this to weave in later. I'm going to carry these up the side because I hate weaving in ends like nobody's business. So I'm just going to leave this, and I'll pick this up. I'll pull it up the side and start using it again when it's time to use this again. So just drop that out of the way, and then grab your working yarn, and we're going to chain up 2 and turn. And it's the same thing as we did before. So easy, easy, easy. Skip the first 2 stitches, and in the following stitch, which is actually a chain space, we're going to work a single crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Skip the next 2 stitches. In this chain space, work a single crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Skip the next 2 stitches. In that chain space, work a single crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Skip the next 2 stitches, then single crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Skip the next 2 stitches, single crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Okay, and we just have this single crochet left, and then this chain, or this space in between our turning chain and the single crochet and the turning chain. So we're going to work one single crochet in the top of the turning chain. That is how we finish out the row. Then chain 2, turn your work, and same thing, skip 2 stitches in the next stitch or chain space, single crochet, chain 1, double crochet. I'm not going to make you watch me do this because you've already watched me do it a lot. So I'll meet you back at the end of the row, and I'm going to change colors again. And so that you can see me do that, I'll meet you back when I'm at the end of the row. Okay, I'm at the end of the row. I've got one single crochet left and the turning chain. And to finish out this row, I'm just going to work a single crochet in the top of that turning chain. However, I'm not going to finish this stitch because I'm pulling in that new color. So on this last step where I yarn over and pull through 2, I'm just going to place this over my hook. Again, the tail goes out away from you. The working yarn comes toward you. Just set it on top of your hook and then pull through those 2 loops for the final step of that stitch. And you have successfully changed colors. Then chain up 2, turn your work, and begin the same thing all over. Skip the first 2 stitches, and in this chain space, work a single crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Skip these next 2 stitches, and in that chain space, single crochet, chain 1, double crochet. We're going to do this for the entire row. When we get to the end of the row, you're going to work your last stitch into, which is a single crochet, into the top of the turning chain, chain 2, and then go all the way back across the row, just like we did on rows 3 and 4. So I'm not going to make you watch me do that. When I get to the end of row 6, I'll meet you back and I'll show you how I carry this light pink, the lightest pink, up and start with it again. So let me get these next 2 rows worked and I'll meet you back. Okay, here's the last stitch. I'm working a single crochet in the top of the turning chain. However, I'm not finishing the stitch because I'm going to pull in this lightest pink again. So just drop your yarn, drop that darkest pink, grab this piece that you dropped after you finished the second row, pull it up the side, come behind the hook, lay it over the top of the hook so that the working part is coming toward you, and then pull through for the final step. And then just kind of cinch it, not too much because you don't want it to cinch your whole blanket up, but you just want it to be snug along the side. You don't want this too loose and gappy. You want it nice and neat along the side. So just pull it till it sits nice and snug there. Then chain up 2. Pull that. Turn your work and start all over. Skip the first 2 stitches, and in this chain space, single crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Skip the next 2 stitches, single crochet, chain 1, double crochet. And you're going to do this for 2 more rows. I'm not going to make you watch me do this because you've already seen me do it. So I will meet you back at the end of 2 rows of this color, and I'll carry the medium pink up the side so you can see me do that again if you need to. So hang tight and I'll meet you back. Okay, I'm ready to work this final single crochet of the row. I'm working it into the top of the turning chain, but I'm not going to finish it because I'm bringing in the new color. So I'm going to drop this lightest pink, set it aside, grab the medium pink, pull it up the side, go behind the hook, bring it up over the top so that the working yarn is toward you, and then just pull through for that final step of the stitch. And then I just pulled this lightest pink a little tight so that this loop isn't too gappy. And then again, cinch this medium pink up slightly, not too much because you don't want to cinch your work up. You just want that to lay nice and snug along the side. Okay, then chain up 2, turn your work, begin again. Skip 2 stitches. And in the chain space, single crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Skip 2 stitches in the chain space, single crochet, chain 1, double crochet. I'm going to do this for 2 more rows, and then I'll meet you back when it's time to bring the darkest pink back in. See you in a minute. Now I'm on the final stitch of row 10, so again, single crochet in the top of that turning chain. But we're not going to finish it. We're going to switch colors. So I'm dropping the medium pink. I'm grabbing this strand of the darkest pink. I'm going to pull it up the side behind the hook over the top of it and pull through. Then I'm going to cinch that slightly so it's not too gappy, and I'm going to cinch this slightly so that this strand isn't gappy. Then chain up 2. Turn and begin again. Skip the first 2 stitches, single crochet, and we're working into the chain space. Single crochet, chain 1, I almost said chain 2, chain 1, double crochet. Skip 2 stitches in the chain space, single crochet, chain 1, double crochet. So I'm going to continue for these next 2 rows because each color is 2 rows, and I'll meet you back to bring in this lightest pink once again, and then we'll say we're finished with the body of our little sample. So let me finish these next 2 rows of the darkest pink and I will meet you back. Okay, I'm at the end of row 12, so I'm going to work this final single crochet in the top of the turning chain. But I'm not going to finish it because I need to change colors. So let's drop the darkest pink, and then we're going to grab the strand of lightest pink that's been hanging out waiting for us to work with it again. Bring it behind up the side, behind the hook, and over the top with this working yarn coming toward you. Then just pull through with that color. I'm going to cinch this darkest pink up a little bit so that loop isn't too loose. And then cinch up this lightest pink a little bit so that this strand is snug along the side, but not too snug. You don't want it to pull. Then chain up 2, turn your work, and the whole process starts all over. Skip the next 2 stitches, and in the chain space right here, we're going to work a single crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Skip the next 2 stitches. In this chain space, work a single crochet, chain 1, double crochet. I'm going to do this for 2 rows, and after I have completed rows 13 and 14, I'll meet you back and I'll show you how to begin the border. All right, let's get this last single crochet of row 14 worked. I'm working in the top of the turning chain. I am not going to finish the stitch because I need to change colors again. So I'm going to drop this light pink, the lightest pink. Then I'm going to reach down and grab this medium pink, pull it up along the side and come behind the hook, then up over the top, and then pull through. I'm going to cinch this up a little bit so this loop isn't quite so large, and then cinch this up a little bit so that this strand is sitting nice and snug along the side. Again, make sure you're not doing that too tightly because you don't want to pinch your work up. Now let's start on the border. So to do that, chain up 1, turn your work. And I just did several rounds of single crochet. Just kept it really simple. So to start, beginning in this first chain, work a single crochet, and you'll work a single crochet in every single stitch around the blanket. When you get to a corner, you'll need to work 3 single crochets all in the same corner stitch. That will help you round that corner nicely. And then along the sides, I worked 1 single crochet per row. So like here, 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 here. Just kind of use your best judgment. Find a space, find a gap within that row and try to keep it consistent looking. But I did a single crochet in each row all along the sides. All right, so I'm going to go all the way around this little sample and I'll meet you back when I'm back to the beginning. Okay, I haven't actually made it all the way around because I thought of something I need to tell you. Plus, I want you to see me working over these ends that we carried up. And so anyway, here we are. Okay, so I've worked along the top. This is the top, and then along this left side, and I've rounded this corner. So now I'm working along the bottom. Remember when we worked our first row, we would work a single crochet, chain 1, double crochet, and then we would skip 2 chains. Well, that leaves some really big gaps. So what you need to do is work 2 single crochets into each of those large chain 2 gaps, just like that. This is the chain where we worked our single crochet, chain 1, double crochet. So we'll just work 1 single crochet in that 1 chain. Now here's a chain 2 gap again. So we'll need to work 2 single crochets in that space because it's a large space. It's 2 chains. So just work in that fashion all along the bottom. Because if you just put 1 single crochet in that big chain 2 gap, it's going to scrunch up your work and it's not going to look right. Okay. Here is our first stitch. So we need to work 3 single crochets in that to round the corner. Okay, so now we're going to work up along this side, and we're just going to crochet over all of these ends that we carried up. And I'm actually going to crochet over these tails too. I normally would not do that. I would leave those out and weave them in later because they're much more secure that way. But since this is just a sample, I'm not going to worry about that, and that will get them out of the way as I work. So 2 single crochets per row, or not 2 single, 1 single crochet per row, which means you're going to have 2 single crochets per each color section, if that makes sense. Okay, so now I just did 2 for the light pink. For this medium pink, I'm going to do 2 more. Notice I'm crocheting, these are all along the top, and I'm just crocheting over them. So here's my second one for that section. Now the dark pink. And back to the light pink. Well, if I can get a hold of that. And the medium pink. Okay, and we're back to the light pink. Now for this last stitch, I'm rounding the corner. So for this last stitch, I'm only going to, or for the last section, I should say, this is a corner stitch. So I'm gonna put 2 single crochets into this stitch. I'm not gonna put 3 because this first stitch of the round is also worked in the same stitch. So this counts as that 3rd stitch of the corner. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. So 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets, and then to finish this round, I just slip stitched into that first single crochet. You could also work an invisible join, but I think on this first round, a slip stitch works better. I'm going to do 1 more round, at least, maybe 2, we'll see. And I'll show you how to work an invisible join on that one. All right, so anyway, let me undo this because I got to yapping and you may need to see me do it again. Okay, so I'm just slip stitching into that first stitch and pull through, and bada bing, bada boom, you're done. Okay, so for round 2, let me go ahead and cut these because I'm gonna have to work with them. All right, so for round 2, oh my gosh, sorry. I've got you jiggling there because I bumped the tripod. I pulled in the darkest pink. And with each round that I did, and I did lots of rounds on my my actual blanket, but I would start them in a different place so that the joins aren't as noticeable, or not the joins, but where you're adding the new yarn for each round isn't as noticeable. So I'm actually going to start, let's just say over here along the side, and I'm just going to insert my hook, lay that yarn over the top of it and pull through, and then chain 1 to secure that so that it's kind of locked in place. And then I just, in the next stitch, just started single crocheting all the way around. Now this is a little easier than that first round because you have definite stitches to work into along the sides. So there's not any guesswork at all as far as hook placement goes. And like the other round, you're going to work 3 single crochets per, or into each corner space so that you're able to round that corner. Hold on and I'll show you because I'm almost there. This is the corner. We've got 1, 2, 3 worked in here. So we just need 1 for this. Now we've reached the actual corner stitch. So I'm going to work 3 single crochets into that corner stitch. and then go back to 1 single crochet per stitch. Okay, so I'm going to go all the way around the sample for real this time. And when I get back to the beginning where I started, I'll show you how to work an invisible join. So it's barely noticeable where you added this new yarn. Okay, I'll meet you back in a minute. I'm back to the beginning of the round. I just worked this last single crochet, and here's the chain where we chained up to begin the round. So let me show you how to work an invisible join. The first thing you need to do is cut your yarn. I have already done that. Be sure to leave a decent sized tail to weave in and secure, and then just take that tail and pull it all the way through the stitch you just made. Now what we want to do is insert our hook into the first stitch of the round, not the chain, but the actual stitch. So insert your hook, grab that tail and pull it through from back to front. Then go to the last stitch of the round and insert your hook under the back loop only from back to front. So your hook's going to come out right in the middle of this V. Now grab your yarn and pull through that back loop only. And there you go. That creates a little imitation stitch, a little fake stitch that sits right over that chain and looks just like the rest of your work. Now all that's left to do is to weave in all your ends, and I know a lot of crocheters frown on this, but I actually like to tie these two ends into a knot. You can hardly see it at all, and it just makes me feel better that those ends aren't going anywhere. And then just weave them in. I'm going to be finished with making rounds on this border because truthfully, every single border or every single round after this is worked in exactly the same way as this round. Just remember, any subsequent rounds that you add, start them all in a different spot. Sorry, I just bumped the tripod. Now you're all wiggling. Anyway, just make sure that you start those all in a different spot, and then it's not as noticeable. If you start every round in the same spot, then it does become a little more noticeable. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you guys have learned some things, or if you have bought this pattern and you just needed a little extra help, hopefully you've gotten some clarification on that. So I think I'll sign off for now, and I will talk to you guys soon. You guys have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.